Good morning and welcome to your Thursday morning.
It is day number 4, and in day 4 we're going to go into Pilates and a bit of cardio. Now the cardio is self-explanatory because we mentioned it earlier in the week, but the Pilates is a little different. Those who are familiar with Karen or Fit School classes will already understand what Pilates is about because they'll have been to Karen's classes for years. That's right, years. We have members who stay with us and rarely move on because we are hopefully provide enough entertainment for you to stick around.
Or like we've been described as a nice, reliable, comfy sofa as well, which I take as a compliment.
But people are on an education journey with us and they stay with us because we can keep on progressing them through their journey. However, if you are not familiar with Pilates or have heard about it, our main referral route, it tends to be through physios. Physios will tell their clients and patients you should try Pilates. And the main reason why is that maybe they're recovering from an injury, they have some issue with their back, particularly their back, but we talk about hips quite a lot. And they think Pilates is a way to build from either lack of movement that they're doing right now into moving better, or create a program based around Pilates for future back and spine health. And also over the last 2 or 3 weeks, if you haven't been moving around very much, and particularly your back and your hips, you'll feel a little stiff first thing in the morning. That's a bit to do with age, but more to do with lack of movement. And what I found is Pilates is a great antidote for that. But without further ado, I'll hand you over to Karen to explain more about the Pilates you'll be seeing in day 4.
Yeah, so Pilates, if you haven't done it before, maybe a lot of people feel a bit intimidated by it actually, but what's really important to say is that it is for everyone, absolutely everyone. As Chris mentioned, the main reason people come and try Pilates are perhaps issues with pelvic floor, perhaps they're training a lot in running or triathlon or endurance training and they need a nice foundation for their training. Perhaps they've come from a physiotherapist, they've got issues around the back or shoulders, or perhaps if you're a little bit older, you might start to have issues around osteopenia or osteoporosis, which is where your bone density drops, hip issues. So they're the sorts of things that people will come and find Pilates for, and they are predominantly kind of like physical or scientific. But what people then end up staying with Pilates for is a real sense of community. It feels nice when you move your body in a certain way, and there's a lot of breathing and focused relaxation. I don't want to say relaxation because we don't sit there and breathe and kind of like you might in a meditation, but because you're very much focused, you're very present on how your body feels. It feels really nice to do. And I like to think of Pilates as like the real kind of core of the apple. It kind of holds it all together. Or if I want to use a baking analogy, Pilates is having a really decent tin, to put the stuff in, because you're not going to make a decent cake without a really good tin and equipment and an oven. So that's what it is. It is fundamentally, it was originally 34 moves from Joseph Pilates. I like to help your body to be able to move better in order to do those moves. But you're going to move your spine in different angles. You're going to get your joints moving. We work sideways, frontwards, we extend the back, so we're going to get that back and we're going to just kind of jiggle it around, and at the same time we're going to be building the strength and conditioning to help support those muscles and just to help your body move better.
Let's be honest, over the last 2 or 3 weeks you've probably only been in one position with your back and your spine. And what we've learned over the years, again, doing this for so long now, is if you do not use these movements and particular muscles, you lose, or you limit access to these movements. And when you limit access to that, the muscles responsible for those moves tend to not work as well. Worst case scenario, they what's known as atrophy. They actually become, they waste away.
And that's considerably worse as you get older. So it's much, much easier to lose muscle as you get older because you're not naturally regenerating it. Your body no longer produces its own collagen. You need help. And that's what we're here for.
So the last thing you want is to have any muscle atrophy in your back. You want to have a good, healthy spine, good muscular control across your back. Good example of this is if you place your finger in the lower part of your spine and if you arch your back, creating a nice dish shape, and feel if you can rub your thumb across the lower part of your back and feel the ridge of the muscles either side of that. If there's a small ridge there, then I'd say that's something worth considering improving on. If there's a thick ridge there, that is a good sign that you've got a good level of musculature on called the erectors of your back, which erects your back upright, and they help to give you some support. It's not a be all and end all. You can have some people who have good support across their back and still have backaches and pain, but as a starting point, I often say to people, just understand that there are muscles in your back, and the better condition they're in, the less back pain you're most likely to suffer.
I think some people mistakenly think Pilates is just about abdominal muscles, or people say, oh, I need to improve my core. It's not just abdominal muscles. And as I always say to people, that actually your tummy muscles work because your back tells them to, not the other way around. So we sort of start with the back in Pilates, and as Chris said, there are lots of little muscles, and we're not going to go into details around the spine, around the shoulder blades, and we really want to make sure that we've got a good healthy tone on those muscles.
There we go. So hopefully that's a roundup for Pilates and cardio day 4. We'll see you day 5.